Yo, what's up? I'm Marcus, the Debt Free Dad, where we talk finances and attorney reactions. And yo, we just been on a Tiffany Henyard binge. Now, I'll be honest, even if you look at the description for this video, I had a really good topic to talk about. I mean, like a really good topic to talk about where I was going to go into a court pleadings. It was related to assuming all of the facts that are pointing to her finessing the money. What the hell did she do with the money? Very good video. I didn't see a video out there actually talking about that. But as I was I was going to do that video tonight. We're going to dive into this filing. It was a little bit about her attorneys, because shout out to the people who watched. Somebody in the comments put me on to the law firm, and I just kind of dove and did some digging. So I was going to do a real video that was on something that I haven't seen any YouTubers talking about. And I said, you know what? That shit got to wait for tomorrow. Now, if somebody come out with a video about it tomorrow, I'm going to be mad. But it was literally something. But as I was going down the rabbit hole and getting things prepared, another video came up from I could see it in my peripheral. Somebody reached out to me and was like, bro, did you see the Tiffany Henyard music video? And I was like, what? I was like, there's a music video? This should be funny. So we're definitely going to dive into that music video. First, we're going to start out with what's currently going on. And it's pretty much a arraignment dealing with the chief of police, who, despite what he should be doing, continued to show up for work even after he was terminated, because he asserted the board didn't have the means or authority to terminate him. Again, I'm a licensed attorney. I'm licensed in several jurisdictions. None of those jurisdictions amount to me being your counselor of law. I always got to say that disclaimer to keep the folks at the Bar Association happy. If you're looking for a financial, legal professional, whatever, plumber, dentist, find one in your area. Check with the state certifying body to make sure they are who they say they are. And if you get something out of this video, like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that good stuff. Now, let's go ahead and catch the latest on what's going on today, because I want to say the music video for last, okay? The music video is wild. I want to say the music video for last, so let's dive into something that's actually meat and potatoes related to this case. We're going to see what's going on with Louis Lacey, the top cop in the former top cop in the Village of Dalton, who was a major ally of Tiffany Henyard. He appeared in court today. Let's go ahead and check out that video and see what's going on here.
Right now at 6, Dalton's acting police chief just appeared before a federal judge to face bankruptcy, fraud, and perjury charges.
It's the latest chapter in what's become an ongoing saga involving the Village of Dalton. Our Andrew Ramos was in court and joins us live with what happened. Andrew.
That's right, Joe and Erica. That arraignment wrapped up just moments ago, where acting police chief of Dalton, Louis Lacey, pleaded not guilty to all the charges. Now, as part of pre-trial release conditions, a judge ordered him to turn in all his firearms as well as his FOID card. Now, in court, federal prosecutors laid out a 9-count indictment against the Dalton official, claiming he devised a scheme to defraud by...
All right, real quick. Remember yesterday when we talked about, day before yesterday, when we talked about the indictment, essentially, perjury, lined on a 341 bankruptcy meeting, bankruptcy fraud, and false statements, each of which could carry a maximum of 5 years in prison. He has 9 overall counts, 9 times 5, 45. So he could potentially be looking at 45 years. Let's go back to this video.
Way of filing for bankruptcy in an effort to hide assets, a scheme to defraud by way of filing for bankruptcy in an effort to hide assets and income to avoid paying over $40,000 in a lawsuit settlement that goes back nearly a decade. Now, prosecutors say as part of this scheme, Lacey repeatedly lied about monthly income, where he concealed multiple bank accounts that he controlled, also lying about being separated from his wife, saying that he lived alone, preventing creditors to go after her. Now, Lacey has been charged with 5 counts of bankruptcy fraud, 2 counts of making false statements, in a bankruptcy case and 2 counts of perjury. Now, the federal indictment happens in the shadow of ongoing turmoil in the Village of Dalton, where Mayor Tiffany Henyard is currently under investigation for misuse of village funds. A recent report released by former Chicago mayor turned special investigator Lori Lightfoot showed that the village had a staggering $3.5 million in debt. The report also highlighted how some city employees racked up overtime, specifically Lacey, who received almost $216,000 in OT since 2022. Now, despite Dalton trustees saying that Lacey is currently on unpaid administrative leave, his attorney maintains that his client is still on the payroll and actively employed, also suggesting that this indictment is a witch hunt.
Suddenly now that Lightfoot came out with this report, Mr. McGrath is ordering people not to give Mr. Lacey his what is owed to him. It's completely illegal.
Now, if convicted, Lacey could face up to 5 years in federal prison for each count. He's back in court on October 1st. Reporting live outside Dirksen Federal Court, Andrew Ramos, CBS News, Chicago.
Thanks, Andrew.
All right, so real quick. Oh, let me pause this. I'm about to mess it up. All right, let me pause that. All right, so real quick, just a quick recap. We saw that 9 total counts, potentially 45 years if it's all done consecutively, which I seriously would doubt that would be the case. As we said in the previous video, he should be running to the courthouse trying to beat her other aide who was also charged with bankruptcy fraud. First one to get to my desk as the prosecutor is not necessarily the first one, but the first one to get to my desk is probably who I'm going to entertain first. It's all going to depend on who got the best information. But that's an absolute disaster that's probably going to end with a lot of people going into custody. Now, again, for the new folks in the room, we about to get to this music video, which is wow. Like, I don't want my politicians making music videos. And when I found that thumbnail, when I heard it was a music video, I prayed. I was like, please let it be a rap video. I just like, hey, Super Mayor, Nino Brown, boss chick attitude. I was like, let it be a rap video. And so I was really excited, like, man, please let it be a rap video. But it is a wild video. But before we watch it, again, I actually got a real video that I'm going to do. I'll probably do it tomorrow. And it's a topic that I haven't seen anyone discuss. Is a court document that was filed by a person who has a working relationship with the super mayor, Tiffany Henyard. But it draws us into the question of, if she is diverting these funds, as the evidence look like, allegedly, if she is diverting these funds, what the hell is she actually doing with the money? Because so far, everybody in her circle with bankruptcy fraud, they looking like mad broke. People filing bankruptcy 7 times since the 80s, and everybody trying to move money around and hide money and protect assets. And like, bankruptcy fraud to avoid a $43,000 judgment is kind of wild and kind of broke behavior, especially if you're committing fraud. If I'm committing fraud, I don't know. Like, I'm not condoning anybody break the law, always abide by the law, but go big or go home. Like, you shouldn't be doing fraud, but you still kind of broke in the game. That's kind of wild. Now, let's go ahead, pivot, and turn to this video. Now, what is a red flag for you? I don't want my politicians doing certain things. Like, I don't want them, like, generally things that most people don't want. Most people, not all, most people don't want a politician who's racist. You don't want a politician who, is just kind of out there with things that may be too unrealistic. But I damn sure don't want my politician making music videos. The funniest part about this video is the comments. So let me go ahead and get this video queued up, because I want y'all to see this music video so y'all can enjoy a good laugh.
Right now at 6, Dalton's acting.
I did. Let me see. Okay, this music video is going to have me rolling. Jeez. Truly on the move. Music video with city employees. The comments are going to have you all die. Let's go ahead and cue this up. We're going to make this big. So I'm going to put my face real small so y'all don't have to see me. All right, we got everything nice and big. Now we're going to go to the comments after the video. Then if more people get in the room, we may run it back one more time because it's only short. I don't know if y'all know this music video is out here, but check out this music video. this is the most ridiculous shit I've seen, and to me, it's a big red flag. I'd have been like, "Yo, don't you got some work to do?"
Sing along with me, okay? Let's do it.
Dalton, Illinois. Hey, I'm assuming this dropped before R. Kelly had all the drama going on, but it's interesting to see that, hey, Chicago, Illinois, R. Kelly beat. I get it.
Sing along with me, okay? Let's do it. Woke up this morning, got up out of my bed. I looked around. This is what I said. Thank you, Lord, for another day and all the blessings that you sent my way. I could have been slipping.
Did y'all know this video was out there? Am I the only one who never seen it? Am I the only one who actually, like, I don't know. Is this out there? Am I just late? If I'm late, I apologize for people watching it who already knew this was out here. But this is absolutely not indicative of what you will want an effective mayor to be doing, is making a music video. And all the employees out there, I don't know what they're doing, but they should probably be doing their job. I get it. You could get a younger crowd and energetic. And I'm going to assume, let me see. Let me go through the transcripts. All right, this was posted on November of 2022. So I don't know. I'm assuming, but people knew she was shady kind of before then. They already had some questions. I don't know. Let me let the video finish playing. I apologize. I apologize because a bunch of people in the room. I'm gonna let it play through first. I'm gonna try not to laugh a lot, and then I'll do my commentary after, so y'all can see the whole thing. I'm sorry.
Sing along with me, okay? Let's do it. Woke up this morning, got up out of my bed. I looked around. This is what I said. Thank you, Lord, for another day and all the blessings that you sent my way. I could have been dead, sleeping in my grave, but you told death, get back and behave. Another blessing. Ooh, another blessing. Another blessing. Ooh, another blessing.
Oh my God.
I got my legs short and I can walk. I got my mouth and I can still talk. In a pandemic and I'm safe, y'all. I got my lungs, y'all, and I can breathe.
I bet you all those cops in the video are on the overtime payment list. Oh my God. Oh man. Did y'all know that video was out there? Am I the only one? Am I the only one who was late to the party on that video? Oh man, that's hilarious. I don't know. Am I the only one who was late to the party on that video? That is I agree. Like, I don't know. If I had hope in her watching that video, I would be like, she not doing her job. If you got time to be out here making R&B music videos, I was praying it was a rap video. If it was a rap video, that shit would have been hilarious. But this is crazy. Now, the funniest part is actually in the comments. Now, this video was uploaded in November 2022. But I want y'all to see some of the comments because the comments go back. I'm looking at the comments now. Hold up. Let me pull the comments back up. I'm going to make my face small and go to the comments so we can see. This woman deserves a prison sentence for stealing from taxpayers. I agree. Taxpayers funded video of absolutely nothing except spending money. This is a real life comedy skit. This video probably cost the city $500,000. I'm sorry, people adore it. I mean, like, sometimes you gotta laugh to keep from crying. These comments had me rolling. This is crazy. A township of 21,000, and she makes over $200K working as a mayor, and some other useless job. Wow, she really knows how to work the system. YouTube should show the dislike button on this one. This is crazy. This is so dumb. What's the matter with these people? This is why I'm moving. Streets are crumbling like crushed cookies. Patches are everywhere. Crime is running rampant, and liquor stores are in abundance. Yet we are good at shucking and jiving. I agree. This is a straight buffoon. One of the cutest videos from a totally corrupt politician I've ever watched. It's a long comment. I ain't gonna go through all of these comments, but these comments are absolutely insane. I had no clue that there was a music video. It's only a minute long. We're gonna watch it. I'm gonna let it play one more time on the way out, and I'm not even gonna do an outro. But does she seriously think this is not the cringiest thing a mayor can do? Did she not think she should act dignified ever while being the mayor? Or is she just going to act like nothing bugs her and she is always happy even when people are telling her she is stealing from her? Yeah, I'm not even going to read that one because that's serious. It's true. I agree with it. Yeah. 6.2K views so far and only 20 likes. Let you know why YouTube disabled the dislike button from their favorite candidate. Using an R. Kelly track is wild. Oh man, this is crazy work. This is absolute crazy work. This should be on the Boondocks for sure. This should be on the Boondocks. That's hilarious. Yeah, that's Hey, shout out to everybody in the chat who left comments and leaving comments. But this is an utter disaster. That's crazy. How is it that this small village has all of these brand new vehicles? Even snowplows are brand new. Not a scratch on them. They ain't pick up one shred of one flake of snow. There's no salt damage from the vehicles or rust from underneath the vehicles. That's because. But the interesting question is, where is the money going? Everybody so far who appears to be in her circle, she pulling in over $300,000 a year. Let's say after taxes, let's split it in half. Let's say $150,000 after taxes. She's probably making a little more because 150 half will be like California numbers. So she's probably making a little bit more after taxes on everything. But the question is going to be, what is the money going for? Is it going for personal use? Is it going for, are they diverting it and putting it into some type of bank account? I seriously don't think that's the case because I'm going to just be honest. With the shit that we've been seeing, I don't think these are the brand of alleged criminals who would be smart enough to have this money stashed in an account there somewhere. But it's interesting. And there's another thing that causes me to believe that whatever's going on with the finances and the money, I don't think Tiffany Henyard is. I mean, there's two types of people who steal money. There are people who steal money and they can finesse it and store it and use it sparingly in a smart way. And there's people who steal money and just blow it on lifestyle expenses. And then when it's time to go to court, they don't have any money. Let me pull up. Let me see if I can pull up. I'll give y'all a little preview. But this is a. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Give me 1 second. I'm going to give y'all a little preview of what I'll probably talk about tomorrow. Let me see. I know I can't talk and type at the same time. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. This should be an easy one to find. I already had the document pulled up. Okay. Let me go. So tomorrow, I'm going to probably do a real video. And I've never seen anyone doing a video. I'm only going to give a preview to y'all in the room. Y'all hit the like, comment, share, subscribe, dislike, whatever, all of that stuff. But let me pull this document up because I haven't seen anyone talk about this, but it goes, all right, I'm going to close this YouTube out. I'm old. I got to like talk as I'm doing stuff. That's what old people do. Share screen. All right, let's pull up this motion to withdraw. All right. So right there on the screen, we got a motion to withdraw. And this is filed by Tiffany Henyard's first set of attorneys. Her first set of attorneys represented her and I believe the village in some matters, but they filed a motion to withdraw. Let's see. Let's go ahead and make this larger. Now comes Delgado Law Group LLC, hereby present its amended motion for extension of time / motion to withdraw as counsel for Village of Dalton. In support thereof states the follow. Counsel Cynthia S. Granfeld of Delgado Law Group LLC filed an appearance on behalf of defendants, Village of Dalton, Officer Lacey, Officer Staples on February 23rd, 2023. Delgado Law Group LLC wishes to withdraw as counsel of record for the village defendants, where continued representation will result in unforeseeable financial burden on Delgado Law Group and its attorneys within the meaning of Illinois Supreme Court Rule, blah, blah, blah. Defendants, Village of Dalton, Allison Key Clerk may be reached, blah, blah, blah. Essentially, they asking to get out of this case. She had counsel, Delgado Law Group. Let me pull up their website. I'll give y'all a little preview. Not West Palm Beach. Was it? No. I gotta find. All right, here. This is the page I was on. All right, so let me see. Let me open up this page so we can take a look at the actual law firm that was originally representing the city and its interests. And this is actually I wouldn't call it a mid-sized law firm, but it's not a burgeoning new law firm. I looked it up. I looked at the amount of counsel that they got. Was consistent with what I expected. But this law firm, see the named person on the door, Michael T. Delgado is the senior partner. Let's see if we can find who was representing her. Who was representing the Village of Dalton? I don't even see the name up here now. Maybe they no longer. Maybe they're no longer attorney. But this was the first law firm that was representing the Village of Dalton early on. It mentioned Officer Lacey and the motion to withdraw. They essentially got out of the case, and I looked at it to find a few things, to find out why they couldn't get out, because they couldn't comply with Rule 1. Rule 1, I'll tell y'all the story about how I learned about Rule 1, but Rule 1 is you can't pay somebody. And so they got out of the case. And in a recent video, maybe about 9 days ago, maybe it was 9 days before Lori Lightfoot did her preliminary investigation and released that, there was actually a Board of Trustees meeting that the super mayor attended, and there were two gentlemen of the Caucasian persuasion sitting in close proximity to her, and those were her newly retained counsel. And I ain't gonna get all into the names of them, but I looked that firm up, and it's definitely a much smaller firm. They don't even have the names of their attorneys or associates. Normally, smaller firms don't put the names of their attorneys and associates and images up if they only got like 2 or 3 or only got a handful. But I'm gonna dive a little bit into this because I saw some letters that talked about why she couldn't retain counsel, or why the Village of Dalton couldn't retain counsel. We know because they're bankrupt, but some of it also is purportedly associated with them taking a lot of costs associated with FOIA requests. Apparently, the Village of Dalton, the township, the government body, has been getting a lot of Freedom of Information Act requests, probably looking for contracts, things related to expense reports. And I ain't gonna say I'm an expert at FOIA, but I know about FOIA, and a government entity actually has to have counsel or retain counsel to defend them. Otherwise, they would have to give out everything. The Freedom of Information Act essentially says the public has a right to know what's going on within government organizations. But the most important thing with a FOIA request is not the right to give it to the public. It's the exemptions that apply that allow the government to withhold it. One of the exemptions could be if I do a FOIA request for at the FBI for a record related to myself and there's an ongoing investigation, I'm not going to get that record. Ongoing investigation is one exemption. If it's related to certain human resource personnel matters, is an exemption. I'm not going to get it. There's all these certain exemptions that allow the government not to turn over information. And the word on the street looks as if the Village of Dalton has been fighting off a crap load of FOIA requests, which contributed to them not being able to afford their counselor. And that's the thing that I looked at too. I don't know if they, I don't know, there's a catch-22, right? They have it's interesting. That's going to be a topic we're going to talk about tomorrow. But there's always when you're in law school, when you're in law school, there's a scenario. Everybody, all attorneys have to take and pass an ethics course. It's actually a separate exam you got to take before you take the bar exam, just solely on ethics. But there's a question. Like, you're sitting in your law office. I heard this every year, but you're sitting in your law office and someone comes in. I thought I had a duffel bag beside me, but someone comes in with a Nike duffel bag and they're like, yo, I need you to represent me, DFD. I need you to hook me up. And they slam the bag on the desk. And you look at the bag and there's blood money on the desk, a little bit of cocaine residue. And this guy, he got blood splatter all over his shirt and he holding the pistol. Pistol still smoking. Pistol still smoking. And the question is, can you take that money? And so what do y'all think the answer is? Y'all let me know in the comments with a Y or N. Do you think you can take that money? If you see this money got cocaine residue, blood on it, all of this other stuff, y'all already should know what the answer is because I'm smiling. The answer is yes, you can take the money. Now, ethically, there's literally nothing barring you from taking that money because you don't know necessarily if that money is obtained from something illegal. Hey, all money got some remnants of cocaine on it, according to the data. But I don't know. It's interesting because I'm not saying an attorney can. I don't know. How could I explain this? It is interesting because it depends when they were hired, okay, and in what capacity they were hired. According to that motion that we saw, it looked like they were actually representing the government entity, the Village of Dalton. So an attorney representing the Village of Dalton is completely different from an attorney representing just the super mayor herself. So, but we're going to dive into that. They shouldn't be allowed to withdraw since Delgado allowed Tiffany to steal all the money. We'll see about that. When was the motion filed? Let me pull it up. I feel like it was 2023. Damn, I closed out the window. Hold on. Let me pull it back up. I think it was 2023. It was. Let's see. My bad. I should have kept. Damn. Where is it at? Here you go. Hold on. Let me pull up this motion. Case in 2022. Counsel Garfield Delgado filed an appearance on behalf of the Village of Dalton. Yeah, so they filed an appearance for the Village of Dalton in February of 2023. And this was filed. Insider one over here refuses to pay legal bills created by numerous FOIA lawsuits. Let me pull it up. Yeah, it looked like this was filed in mid to late 2023, because this is a copy of it, but I don't see the. Normally, it would have. I would have to go on Pacer. I'm not gonna do that right now. I would have to go look on my Pacer account to pull up the actual date it was filed. But they made their initial appearance. Well, not initial, but they filed an appearance on February of 2023. So it looks like this was filed definitely sometime after that. And let me see what this article says. I'm gonna pull this up and go into this real quick. They need to go down right along with Tiffany. I don't know. We got to see, because if you got any, Enrique, if you got any articles or anything, shoot me those. Actually, you can hit me on IG at official debt free dad on IG. But shoot me anything that you got related to that, because you put the bug in my ear. So I was like, well, let me look into the law firm. And the only thing I found from looking into her law firm is, if this woman is stealing all the money, what the fuck is she doing with it? Because she damn sure ain't using it to retain her counsel. And the new counsel she got, I'm not going to say they're a lower caliber of attorney, but they'll probably have less resources. It doesn't look like it's a law firm as sizable as the first one. The officer in the red shirt is the one that worked 303 hours. I already knew it, because it just like a rapper. If I'm a rapper and I'm making a music video, I'm gonna go back around the way, and I want all my boys and all my people who rock with me in the music video. You ain't gonna have nobody who rock with you in the music video. That's music video less than one-on-one. But yeah, Enrique, if you got anything, you can send me. Shoot it to me on IG, official debt free dad, or official debt free dad. Or if you go to my YouTube, the bio, you can find. If you go to the bio in YouTube, you can find all the information, essentially how to contact me. But shoot me what you got, because I was going to dive into that video, but I didn't see anything off the break. And I only did maybe 45 minutes of looking that, like, hey, would implicate Delgado in anything with the monies or the funds being misappropriated or stolen, allegedly. So, shoot me what you got. Oh, just from watching the board meetings, bet. Okay, bet. All right, I see what you're saying. And that's how I dove in. You left the first comment about her attorneys. Then when I looked up to see who her attorneys were, I saw that she had retained new counsel. And that's when I was like, Yeah. And the attorneys who the mayor has, who appeared at the last meeting that she attended, those were her attorneys, because they had something on the record essentially saying, like, we're just here making sure the board of trustees follow the proper procedure. Hey, shout out to everyone who comment, and I appreciate that. Let me see. Allegedly, Delgado Law Group is crooked. I'm not saying it because I'm not saying because I'm attorney, right? I don't want to defend everybody, but hey, all attorneys have rules that they can follow, and some guys like to bend those rules. Some guys like to step over the line. So there are some shady attorneys out there. I know attorneys personally who are in federal prison right now because they were representing street guys. And what'll happen if you represent a bunch of street guys? If you represent a bunch of drug dealers, after a while, you could become the broker. You know all the players in the game, and that didn't work out to Delgado Law Group is well connected. Yeah, probably so. Your connections go a long way. Your connections go a long way, and I tell you one thing that is pretty powerful. Attorney-client privilege is a powerful thing. Like, if I'm representing you, certain things you tell me, I just can't tell or can't disclose by privilege. And one thing I would never do is break privilege. Can't break privilege. Now, there are some exceptions to attorney-client privilege. Like, if somebody came in my office and was like, oh, I got this AK-47 and I'm gonna go sit on a water tower and do all of this stuff. There are some limited exceptions where attorney-client privilege can be broken, but they are very, very few. And most attorneys aren't going to break attorney-client privilege. They just aren't going to do that. If you break attorney-client privilege, you consider yourself as being done, especially if you're in the realm of a defense attorney representing criminals. Who the hell would want to hire a defense attorney who broke his privilege and disclosed some shit that he had said with his client? That would be absolute crazy work to do. So I don't think most people since that, I mean, that's going to be, that's, an attorney can get indicted if they're a part of a conspiracy. Yes. Can an attorney get indicted? That sounds like, if I had to clean your question up, can an attorney get indicted for allowing the mismanagement of funds since they are supposed to represent the village? Well, that would mean that the law firm conspired allegedly. These are all allegedly, because I don't want no smoke, nobody out there, but you know, Village of Dalton, they ain't got no money to hire an attorney anyway, even if I did say something wrong. But yes, an attorney could be charged if they're part of a conspiracy. In your scenario, you're saying the attorneys were hired to represent the village, but the attorneys, while supposedly representing the village, they allowed the mayor to misappropriate or commingle funds. Yes, if they can prove that, but that would be a very, very hard case to prove. So, you know, I mean, it's everything everyone's saying about Delgado law firm is merely conjecture and statements that they're making based on outside observation. It would be very hard to find evidence to find that a law firm was tied up in a conspiracy. It's just hard to do. You see it very rarely. They quit because they said she wasn't paying the money. And if you aren't paying the money, I found out a lot about Rule 1 because there is no Rule 1. When I first started, I had like a little cheat sheet and I laminated it, and it had all of these motions and all of these quick little things front and back that I would need to know as a green attorney being in court every day. And so if something came up, I was like, oh, I had like some of the rules of evidence. I had a kind of summary of those, but I had everything I needed to go to so I could just flip to it right there on this one laminated page. And I remember I was sitting in there. This may be like my second day on the job, and I'm sitting on the bench. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. It might have been my first day. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and I'm sitting on the bench. So I was like, you know what? They just gave me a bunch of files and said, good luck. So I was like, well, shit, I'm gonna just continue everything. Now give me 30 days to figure out how I need to handle this stuff. And I see a attorney go up, and these guys are relatively good attorneys. I would actually retain them if I was in some shit. But I seen these two attorneys go up, and he was like, Your Honor, we're asking for a motion to continue. And the judge is like, yo, this case has been in my courtroom forever. This file is marked last, no more continuances. Why do you need another continuance? He was like, for failure to comply with Rule 1. And I'm sitting there like, back in the day, I had damn near photographic. I was like, Rule 1, what the fuck? Rule 1? I'm thinking of all of these rules. I'm like, Rule 1. I'm flipping over my little sheet. And I was like, what the hell is he talking about? I was so confused. And so like the judge was like, oh, Rule 1, non-compliance with Rule 1? Even though this file is marked last and we shouldn't continue it, we're going to allow a continuance for failure to comply with Rule 1. So immediately, when I go in the back bowels of the court, I grab somebody and I'm like, yo, what the hell is Rule 1? They're like, oh, Rule 1 is a client didn't pay you. A judge will give you as many continuances as you need to get your money from your client. So they quit on her because apparently that, you know, she didn't have any bread. She tried to get, Miss Curvy dropping some gems. She tried to get the Delgado Law Group to represent all factions of Dalton, i.e. Parks Department and the school board. Yeah. You know, and that this goes to show how much of, I told y'all, I've been in local government, federal government. I've sat in meetings with presidential appointees where like they were meeting with me and the agency that I was in charge of. So I've seen in local government, the fraud is wild in local government, but they have a government structure that's unlike anything I've ever seen. Because normally trying to get one firm to represent all of these different government agencies is actually crazy work. Normally what will happen is if you have a city, you will have a city attorney, and that city attorney represents, the best interest of the village. But then each agency would have its own general counsel. So the Parks and Rec would have their own general counsel. The school board would have their own general counsel. The Office of Inspector General would have whatever. All of these government agencies would normally all have their own general counsel to represent their best interests. Now, that doesn't mean that the school board wouldn't work collaboratively with the attorney for the city or the village or what have you. But normally, every government entity has its own general counsel. You don't see the United States attorney represents the U.S. attorney represents the overall federal government, but every government agency, DOJ, Treasury, HUD, Housing and Urban Development, they have their own office of general counsel because some things are going to be expressly specific to those offices. Let's just say if I worked at the CIA and someone submitted a Freedom of Information Act request. No, let's say I worked at the FBI and somebody submitted a Freedom of Information Act request to the FBI and all of these other law enforcement agencies wanting to look into a particular individual. Well, each entity, the FBI, the DEA, they're going to have to look at those records and make their own determination of what can we give out, what can we disclose, what we can't disclose. So it's very weird to have one firm represent every government entity in an actual city. Each entity within the city should have its own general counsel. Then the city or the village itself should have its own general counsel. And the board of trustees should have its own general counsel. It's kind of weird. It's a weird ass I don't know. It's a weird ass setup that they got there. Yeah, I don't think the village has an attorney at this time except the trustees attorney. Okay. But yeah, they should have Little Woody Fulton County. What if they were just incompetent and gave her bad advice about not giving receipts to trustees? I mean, I don't know, like that could be the case. They could been at anytime you have a disagreement, there's a particular way you ask to get out of a case when you and your clients are at odds. I had a client who he just flat out wanted me to lie. It was some stupid. The lie didn't even make sense, bro. And like if you have an attorney who's following the rules, this is kind of how it should go. Because when they say, "Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?" they aren't talking to me as the attorney. They're talking to the person that get on the stand. But if your client is going to lie and you know your client is going to lie, these are the rules that most attorneys should follow as laid out by most courts. If I know my client is going to tell a lie, I should try to talk them out of it. Like, bro, don't tell the lie, whatever. Or an alternative, like, don't get on the stand and testify, but that's the client's choice. I can't say, nah, you're not testifying. I don't care what you say. That's the client's choice if you want to testify. But the first thing you got to do is try to talk them out of it, dissuade them. If you can't talk them out of it, you can't dissuade them for doing it, you can ask the court to withdraw. And this is the universal language. Clients won't know this. I'm going to give y'all a gem right now. But if you're ever in court and you see your attorney go up there and say, "Your Honor, I'm attorney DFD. I'm representing Mr. John Doe in the matter before the court today. I am asking that the court allow my client to pursue and obtain new counsel and continue this matter to give him time to do so, because currently we're at an impasse as to strategy." If I say we're at an impasse as to strategy, that's code word for saying, "Your Honor, this dude about to get on the stand and lie his ass off." He about to lie his ass. All the attorneys know. The DA knows what's going down. The judge knows what's going down. But that's kind of how you got to ask to get out of it. So I asked to get out of this case. Because the case was on the docket for so long, the judge was like, "No, I'm not letting you out of this case because I don't want this shit to just last forever. You got to go ahead and take this case." And so now I tried to talk him out of it. It didn't work. I went to the court, tried to hey, allow him to get new counsel because we're at an impasse. Wink, wink. As to strategy, it didn't work. The judge was like, you're staying on it. So now court said, if you know your client's going to lie, you can't participate in the lie. So you would ask, well, DFD, what the hell does that mean if you can't participate in the lie? It means that when I'm doing my direct examination, I call Mr. John Doe to the stand. Mr. John Doe, go to the stand. Normally, when you're questioning somebody, you would say, hey, state your name for the record. My name is John Doe. And where do you currently live at? What's your occupation? Okay, Mr. John Doe, do you recall the events on December 4th, 2022? Yes, I do. Can you tell me on or about where were you located during the time on this date at this position? You would normally go through and ask a string of questions that you already know the answer to. Never ask a question that you don't know the answer to. You ask a string of questions. But if you know your client is going to lie, you can't talk them out of it. The judge won't let you out of it. The court says you can't participate in the lie. And not participating in the lie means I can only question my client to allow him to give a narrative. So if you hear an attorney say, Mr. John Doe, can you tell me what happened on December 22nd, 2022? And then John Doe just sitting up there talking. And you just sit there and let him talk. And when he paused, you'll be like, is there anything else you want to say? And so that's the approach that you should take. So there are rules out there for attorneys to comply with ethics, but hey, not all attorneys follow them. I don't know if they're representing, and this is weird, because if they're representing, because that motion of withdrawal looked as if they were representing the village from the language. The only name I saw in there was Lacey at some point, but it really boils down to who they were representing. Because if they're representing the village, they shouldn't be giving her any personal advice about anything. And sometimes it's hard to separate. And sometimes people in leadership positions don't know. There are really mayors out there who think their general counsel's job is to represent them, the person. But no, it's to represent the actual mayor itself. It's not to do what's in the best interest of you, the person who is the mayor. Is to do what's in the best interest of the office of the mayor. That's just kind of what it is. But those lines do get crossed. I don't think they gave her bad advice. I don't know if they were representing her. I can't tell from that. It looks like they were representing the village from that motion I looked at to withdraw. But if they were representing her, if I was representing her, I would advise her not to give the trustees the documentation if I know you were doing something wrong. Hey, they're asking for the document. If there's no law on the books that says you're obligated to give them these records, why give them the records? Y'all want the right records, do a FOIA request like regular citizens. There should be something on the books that require them to give over the records, though. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm just, and your statement is kind of throwing me off because they gave her, what if they were just incompetent and gave her bad advice about not giving receipts to the trustees? Do you think that Tiffany Henyard would think that that's bad advice? Tiffany Henyard would absolutely be like, oh shit, they down to scheme and scam. Tiffany Henyard would, if you said, hey, I don't recommend you giving them anything if they don't have a statute that requires you to, she's going to be like, that's great advice. So I don't think that, your definition of what's bad advice is in the eye of the beholder and the person getting it. Allegedly, why did the Village of Dalton pay the Delgado Law Group millions? I mean, I don't know. It's a weird ass organization because they shouldn't have to have outside counsel. The village should have its own independent attorney. It would actually be cheaper. I had a case recently where the merits of the case were already resolved, but we were talking about just attorney's fees and how much in attorney's fees. And over a decade ago, as a new attorney who didn't know anything, once I got my license, I billed $250 an hour. And recently I had a case where attorneys were billing $750 an hour. So it's actually way cheaper for a county to have their own county or city or village attorney. So I don't even know, if a city doesn't have their own attorney and they got to hire a law firm, who probably know what they're doing, that shit is going to cost a lot of money because they get paid based on, y'all know how the structure works for attorneys. If you an attorney who does like accident stuff, you're going to get a third of the settlement. If it goes to court, you're probably going to get 45%. If you're hiring me for something where I'm getting paid on an hourly basis and if I charge $7.50 an hour, you would probably have to pay me a retainer of $200,000 before I even started doing work. $7.50 an hour, and they bill in 15-minute increments for every damn thing, every phone call. Lord forbid they got to get up off their ass and go to a trustee meeting. It's just going to be so damn expensive. So, it's going to end up being millions if they went to a law firm, because the nature of law firms is to make money. That's just what it is. It seems the Delgado Law Group was representing the mayor, not the village. Again, it's a thin line that often gets blurred, but from the paperwork we saw, we didn't really know where they were at that point. Yeah, if he wouldn't have been messing with Big Tiff, might have gotten away with it. Yeah, if he wouldn't have been messing with Big Tiff, might have gotten away with it. That's fair. She has been doing pay to play since she was a trustee. Her child's father has a towing company, and she gets them into Dalton, and he turned around and dumped her. Yeah, that's common. You see most contracts related to city services are required to go through some type of bidding process, but that doesn't mean the bidding process doesn't get rigged. Or sometimes they'll have no bid contracts. So I've seen it at government levels where the person who issued, the government official who signed off on the contract, got the same last name as the person who's actually performing the service. It happens all the time. Allegedly, Delgado allowed the mayor to spread misinformation at the meetings and allegedly did nothing. I don't know if you could. Can you allow this mayor to spread misinformation? I think that's what she's going to do regardless of if she had the law firm representing her or not. I think that's just kind of her personality, personally, but let's see. She took her to court and was told she had to give it to them. But the reason why the court hadn't done anything is because she is in so many other lawsuits. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Lawyers normally going to get paid. Like, that's the thing. Lawyers normally going to get paid. And if you don't pay an attorney, they're going to take that judgment that they get against you, file it with the local clerk of the courts. And if you got any property, it's going to attach to that property. And now you got a lien interest on your property from a fucking law firm, which would be terrible. Miss Kirby, I can see why he dumped her. Because he already got his contract. If he already got his contract, he like, I'm good. The trustees do put in FOIA requests, and Keith Freeman told the department head not to forward them to the clerk and took away the clerk's access to the website. That's interesting. And again, this is so indicative of a small city who just they don't have an organizational structure that would protect the city and the residents from what they have going on, corruption. And most cities don't, but they do have some mechanisms to kind of keep things impartial. They'll have an attorney general's office. They'll have an inspector general's office. Each agency would have its own attorney, and those attorneys would be responsible because each agency, they all operate. It's like the mayor sits here, then each agency branches off under the mayor, and the mayor is the controlling body for each agency. And that's not normally how it is. Normally, it isn't like that. Like, yeah, the mayor may appoint someone to sit in this particular office, but that office is going to have its own general counsel who their job is going to be, I got to make sure you do your job to keep you out of shit, not keep the mayor out of stuff. You know what I mean? So it's just a terrible organizational structure that allows for fraud. Once the fraud happens, there's no mechanisms in place for anybody to stop anything. Like, you should not be able to say, don't comply with a Freedom of Information Act request. And if you don't comply with a Freedom of Information Act request, this goes to show you that the trustees don't have an attorney. Because if they didn't have an attorney, trust me, I know about Freedom of Information Act litigation. I send the Freedom of Information Act. They deny it. If they deny it, there should be an internal mechanism for an appeal. If there isn't, you can take the fact that they didn't respond and actually file a lawsuit in court and sue them. And now you have the state attorneys who would be on the hook like, yo, why y'all aren't responding to this FOIA request? And you're talking hundreds of $1,000s in litigation costs. So, but because the organizational structure of this village is so jacked up, one person can control anything. It's a terrible ass situation. The township had a meeting tonight, and she is still bullying those trustees. That's wild too. That's crazy. They had a meeting tonight. That's gonna be interesting. But yo, let me know if y'all got anything out there. Hit me on IG, official Debt Free Dad, specifically related to the law firm, the Delgado law firm. I'm gonna try to take a look because I want to see how far their relationship goes. Were they representing the village, the mayor, her predecessor? Those will be some interesting questions. So I'm gonna do a little bit of due diligence on that and look. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Before we get out of here, we gotta go with before we get out of here, we gotta close. I'm gonna say all the things right now. Yo, if you got some value out of this video, if you enjoyed anything, if you didn't like anything, whatever, it is what it is. It is what it is. But hey, I'm gonna ask you to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, support. I appreciate everybody who comment and subscribing. And let's go ahead and we're gonna dial out with this fire track related to our favorite mayor. Let's go ahead and cue it up for the new folks in the room who didn't see the music video. We got the new folks in the room. Okay, there you go. The new folks in the room. That's not what I want. Window, Microsoft Edge tab. There you go. All right, for the new folks in the room, we're gonna close this out. We're gonna close this out with a banger. Yo, if you like the content, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Let's dive in. I appreciate all the good comments. Everybody who tuned in, all the new people who tuning in, I appreciate y'all. Let's go out with this one. No comments needed. We're gonna hit this full screen. No need to see my face. Y'all be blessed. Peace.
Sing along with me, okay? Let's do it. Woke up this morning, got up out of my bed. I looked around. This is what I said. Thank you, Lord, for another day and all the blessings that you sent my way. I could have been dead, sleeping in my grave, but you told death, get back and behave. Another blessing. Another blessing. Another blessing. Another blessing. Another blessing. I got my legs on and I can walk. I got my mouth and I can still talk. In a pandemic and I'm safe, y'all. I got my lungs on and I can breathe.